All right, you are one ChatGPT prompt away from your golden ticket business idea if you know how to talk to it correctly. The prompting strategy I'm about to break down in this video comes straight from Harvard, and I've been using it in my own entrepreneurship classes for over a year now for dozens of killer business ideas. By the end of this video, you'll have a plug-and-play ChatGPT prompt that'll be tailored to your specific strengths, budgets, and interests. So getting straight into it, guys, in order for us to know what the good prompts look like, let's start with an example of what normally people will do when they go into ChatGPT and they want to generate business ideas. They'll probably go something like, hey ChatGPT, give me 5 business ideas that I could start. And this is where they'll say a little something relevant to them, like I could start in college. So we do that, and this is what you're going to get. Ultimately, we're giving it a pretty bad prompt because there's no information, there's no details, and so ChatGPT doesn't have anything to work off of. And if you guys are like how I used to be, this is how I used to prompt all the time. And all of the ideas are very low quality because we're not training it and teaching it to specialize to what we are actually good at. And that's exactly what we're going to get into now. So you guys have seen the bad case study, and now let's get into the good. I'm going to break it down. There are 7 steps here, guys, but I promise you it's going to go fast. It's going to be easy, and you can always come back, reference this video. I'm going to leave everything in the description as well, but make sure you watch through this because it's very important, the things I'm about to show you. So when we begin prompting, we have to understand that AI is not human. Even though it talks and maybe even thinks like a human, it is not a human. And so that gets us into the best prompting for business ideas. Starting at step 1 here, this is very important, the role. It is the act as a blank. And obviously I'm getting a bunch of this data from Getting Started with Prompts for Text-Based. I'll link this in the description, but this is a more generalized AI prompting tool, but this is ultimately the founding of what my university has based their whole AI prompting programs on, specifically in my entrepreneurship branch. The strategy that I'm showing you guys today is actually being used by entrepreneurship professors. It's being used by many small business owners. People that have already started businesses are starting to leverage the power of AI in their businesses and in their ideas. And that's where we get into step 1, the role. You have to tell ChatGPT what to act as. That way it's going to recall relevant information to it, because think, it's got basically all the information and all of humanity in it. And when you say, give me business ideas, it doesn't know where to pull from. So here's where we're going to actually get started. The first thing we're going to say is act as a seasoned startup advisor who specializes in early stage. And this is where you could put whatever, maybe even your own interest could be. If you're interested in fitness, if you want to open a gym or a brand of protein, you want to do some sort of product, you want to do clothing lines. This is where we're already scratching below the surface level of give me 5 business ideas, who specialize in early stage, high protein snack ventures. So that already, as you can see, and I went with something that's maybe a little bit more niche. I didn't want to go with just tech ventures because I wanted to show you that it is relevant to whatever you want to do. There is absolutely unlimited opportunities for this. And so you got to understand, this is your opener. This one sentence right here, this is who you're telling ChatGPT to be. And giving the model an idea of who it should be acting as lets it pull on the relevant information instead of that massive amount of data that's just sitting somewhere. So this is great, but now we actually still need to get these business ideas, right? This is where step 2 comes in. That takes us to the task. The task is pretty self-explanatory. It's what you want ChatGPT to do. You want to be clear and detailed to almost a crazy extent. And this is the task that I gave it. I said I need 3 unique product ideas that would appeal to mass markets, which means it would be appealing to most people. We're not going for a super niche product, and can be easily created with an investment of $10,000. That's my budget. Maybe you only have $50. Maybe you have no dollars. Maybe you say I need to start something for free. You could also mess around with that. Again, I'm going to give you the skeleton prompt. Generally, you want to give the task at least 1 to 2 sentences of your time. Now, these prompts are bigger and they are a little bit more thought out, which is actually a really good thing when you think about it, because if you're trying to get business ideas, you need to have a very fleshed out idea. So even putting things down into ChatGPT, like what is your budget? What is your timeline? Exactly what are you looking for? Gives you a much higher chance that you're going to find a business or a product idea that is going to be fantastic. Okay, so I changed the wording here to unique business ideas instead of just products, because I even caught myself there. I wasn't being specific enough. I want the business, I want the model. I don't just want a product idea, although it works just as well for that. And you can see even just 2 steps in how much more clear everything is looking, honestly. We're already miles ahead of the junk from before, and that's without even getting into step 3 yet, which is step 3, the requirements. This is where essentially you're telling ChatGPT the do's and the don'ts. You have to give AI parameters for how you want it to search for this information, what type of information you actually want it to pull, and what do you want this business to include, what do you not want it to include. Ultimately, it's a step that brings ChatGPT back into reality. And a good part to add into the requirements is an example inside of there, so ChatGPT knows what you're kind of looking for. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to this brand called Built Puff. I think they have very interesting protein bars. I'm gonna go to their main website, just like this. I'm gonna take that link. I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and say, here is an example. And then I'm going to explain why I'm giving it this example. I said, I think they have created a fun spin on protein bars that can appeal to more people, and they taste much better than standard protein bars. So I'm giving it the reasoning for why I gave it that website. It understands that this website is an example of what's being done better in the high protein snack venture market right now. I added another sentence that says, I want my business to have products that are disruptive and unique, just like this. That's another requirement. I don't want it to just give me, oh, sell another type of protein powder in a new flavor. I want something that's disruptive and unique. Those are great modifiers to add. So I'm feeling good with where we're at right now for the requirements. And so let's go ahead and go into step 4, which is the audience. So far, we've told ChatGPT who to act like, what we want it to do for us, and what rules it has to follow. And so now you have to think about, okay, well, how does it relay this information? Who's going to be looking at it? And so my answer to that is going to be, I said, the audience for this prompt is a solo entrepreneur who wants to shake up the protein market and run their own health-conscious business. And then I added, they need help on finding a specific business model and what their launch product should be. This step might sound a little bit silly, but remember, literally Harvard and a bunch of the smartest leaders in AI say this is how you have to prompt for the best responses. So it's worth it, and I've been using it for a year, so just trust me on this. So we now have who is going to use this information for the prompt and why. They need help on finding a specific business model and what their launch product should be. That is a phenomenal prompt so far, and we still have 3 more steps. So going into step 5 here, we have the goal. So what is the goal of this prompt? I know we talked about the goal in a little bit in the task. I need 3 business ideas that can be created, and there's some constraints in there, but we want to reiterate with exactly what is the goal of this prompt. So I wrote down the goal. The goal of this prompt is to help the solo entrepreneur have 3 solid options for business models, launch products, and also to provide a go-to-market strategy. So I'm throwing that in there just so you guys can see that you can ask it for a lot of things as long as you are extremely detailed about what you're asking. So with the goal out of the way, now we move into step 6, which is actually the format. How do we want ChatGPT to respond? I know all of us almost just take this for granted that ChatGPT responds in normally sentences or bullet points, but we want to be very specific on this one. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT for short paragraphs, and I want 3 different business models. I want them fleshed out, as in what are the main revenues. I want bullet points of the features of the launch products, and I want a detailed description of the go-to-market strategy. And so I said the format for this output should be paragraphs that explain in detail the business model options, the launch product features and feasibility, and a detailed bulleted list of the go-to-market strategy with a timeline of 6 months. So there I am adding in even more detail that we would not have had on our own. And so as you can see, compared to our first prompt of give me business ideas, we have 3 business ideas of something that is mass market, a budget of $10,000 in the high protein snack space. So we know where we want to go, and even if you don't love everything that ChatGPT says the first time around, you have a much better idea of where you want to go with your business. And you always iterate on these things, and that'll be a little bit later on. But the final step we have here is the question. Step 7, this is very important, and do not forget this one. You want to end it with a question of, do you need any clarification or information before you respond? Sounds kind of silly, but it is very important because ChatGPT will then think through what you're saying and it'll ask for even more clarifying things so that its response is absolutely perfect. With this, we have our entire paragraph here. And so compared to our first one, this is absolutely incredible. And we're going to send it and we're going to see what ChatGPT says here. It says that it does not need further clarification. It understands that we are a solo one-man entrepreneur looking to disrupt the high protein snack space with a product or business that's innovative, appealing, and feasible launch on a 10K budget. Very important because now it understands what we're working with. You're inspired by this company's approach, and now we're trying to go with full go-to-market strategies. And look at this first idea right here already, high protein crunch cups, the portable cereal alternative. So the business model is a reimagined cereal that's an on-the-go snack for adults that is actually filled with crispy high protein bites from lentils, quinoa, protein isolate, and it even comes with sizes. It has recyclability. It can be eaten dry, like a protein snack mix, but I don't know exactly what that is, a little bit of hallucination, but it can be eaten on its own, essentially like goldfish or something like that, or it can be even added to milk and yogurt. So think grown-up Cocoa Puffs with 12 grams of protein and no sugar crash. Guys, how cool and specific is that idea to something that I want to do that is a great idea? And even if there is something like that similar on the market, I think you could then come back and reiterate with ChatGPT, and it even comes with flavors like you could launch with chocolate, cinnamon, or vanilla, 10 to 12 grams of protein, whey or plant-based. It has features like low startup cost with making it, or you don't even need a commercial kitchen because you only have $10,000. So let's go into the 6-month go-to-market strategy. As you can see, month 1, R&D, validating flavors. Month 2, you create your brand, nostalgic but health conscious. You finalize 2 to 3 SKUs, 2 to 3 designs. And month 3, you build your Shopify store. You build up an email list. Your first production run, 300 to 400 units. It already has that built out for you. Launch your Instagrams, your TikToks, target creators. It even gives you ideas of how exactly you're going to market this product. Month 5, you can approach 5 to 10 coffee shops or college stores to test a retail fit. And if you didn't like that, like personally, I don't think it's the best idea to put that in coffee shops. You could say, I think I want to aim more for retail spaces. What company should I go for? How do I get started in that? Give me a draft email template. All these fantastic tools that you just have to ask for it. And then month 6, you run your first promo to drive conversions. You collect testimonials and you have a pitch deck for potential retail partners. So that is your 6-month timeline for your high protein crunch cups. But let's say you didn't like that. Well, protein fro bites, frozen yogurt snack drops. Going through this, I think you guys get the idea. So I'm going to kind of breeze through these last 2. I think you guys understand the value that ChatGPT can provide when you actually give it a detailed, specific prompt. This is a frozen snack sold in resealable bags. So as you can see, it's different. This one's going for frozen. This one uses frozen yogurt. It doesn't use whey protein. And it's going after the dessert inspired thing. The one was going for breakfast. This one's going for dessert. I think this is really cool. It's like, oh, we're going to target nighttime snackers. Could be athletes or even kids. Think Dots Candy meets Halo Top. Halo Top is a low-calorie ice cream. Dots Candy, I don't know exactly, but I assume it's some sort of candy. But as you can see, it's trying to aim for that, high protein. And these are unique. These aren't just like new protein bar flavor. These are new types of protein snacks. As you can see, we got the go-to-market strategy here. And then going into our last one, the savory protein snack wafers. So this one, as you can see, it is kind of getting closer to protein chips like those Quest chips. But as you can see, it's saying, but do it with Pringles, be a little different. Do it in a different form factor. And, it's obviously giving us, it's saying different types of proteins. They're air popped, spicy dill, black truffle sea salt, Parmesan herbs. So it's saying to do unique things like a black truffle sea salt protein chips. That's not something I would have thought of. And also the launch product feasibility. It's got the 6-month go to market, same as the other ones. And then it's saying each of these concepts play on familiar formats, but add a bold twist through protein content, ingredient integrity, and fun branding. They're easy to prototype, you can storytell, and they're tailored for digitally native, health-aware snackers. So already it gave us a demographic that we didn't even ask it for, but it automatically found it. And so just from this, we have all these ideas, we have all this information, but here's the thing, guys, bonus step, don't leave yet. As you can see, it loops back around all these 7 steps. My final step that I'll give you guys before we end this video is to iterate. You must go back and rework. So there it is, guys, the same prompting framework that Harvard teaches, that my professors teach, and the one that I personally use to brainstorm killer ideas all of the time. And as you can see, I hope you see the power and value of ChatGPT. I created a one-page ChatGPT prompt guide for you guys in the description. Feel free to pull that up and then watch this video again alongside it so that you can fill it out with your own information, how you want to do it. Make sure to subscribe for more content like this. I do a lot of entrepreneurship. I'm going to actually be making a video here very soon about taking one of these business ideas and making it a real thing. Like and comment if you thought I brought you some value in this video. Let me know what else you guys want to see in the comments. Let me know if you've ever used this. Let me know if you're going to use it now and what kind of ideas you're looking for. That's all I've got. Thanks, y'all.